Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining me today. My name is Sally Poole. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And today I'm going to walk you through how I made this cute bay window card with the So Refreshing bundle. This is what it looks like. You can stand it up. It does lay flat for shipping, and it's a regular A2 size card, 4¼ by 5½. So this is the So Refreshing bundle. It's got some wonderful dies, a lot of cute stamps. I will interject that I do love iced tea, and I drink it all summer long. I actually was going to make this with iced tea, and when I stamped it, I tried several different brownish colors. I don't know, they just looked like mud and I didn't like it. So I decided to go with pink lemonade. So you can find this bundle in the new catalog. It is on page 29. It is $49.50 if you buy the bundle. That includes the 10% discount, or you can just buy the stamps separately or the dies separately. But bundling is always good. And let's see. Let me get the stuff that we're going to need to make this project with. I used a piece of 4¼ by 11 lemon lolly paper, and we're going to score this at 5/8, 2¼ 3 7/8, and 5½ inches. And then I have a piece of paper from the Hello Irresistible pack. This is a current product and you can buy it. The piece that I'm using is the back side of one of my favorite pieces, so that was kind of hard for me to do that, but it does work well on this card. You're going to need let's see, I didn't tell you the size of these. This was a 6x6 piece. I cut it down to 4 inches, and you're going to cut this into strips of 1 3/8 inches, and you'll need 4 of those, and then you'll be left over with a 1/2 inch piece, which we're also going to use, so we will need this whole little piece of paper. You also need a piece of solid paper cardstock. I have lemon lolly. This is 1 5/8 by 4¼ inches. You'll need a piece of 4 by 5¼ cardstock for the inside. I have used Flirty Flamingo here. White would also be great. I did stamp this ahead of time because when I made this card, I went through the whole process of everything: gluing, stamping, Wink of Stella-ing, everything. And then the final thing that I did, which is a no-no, is to stamp the inside piece when it was already attached. And you can see it didn't come out very good. So I may have to cut a white circle or something and restamp that and have a do-over. I'll have to think about that. So you'll also need a square 2 5/8. This one, I don't know if you can see it or not. I have embossed it with the Stitched with Whimsy set, and I used this larger square, so it gives it a great look. And It actually, when you turn it this diamond-shaped way, it actually kind of matches the pattern on the designer series paper that I'm using, so that's kind of cool. You'll also need just some scraps of basic white cardstock to stamp things on. We're going to stamp the pitcher, the glasses, the lemon slice, the lemons, the leaves on the lemons, this big flower sprig, and then there's a tablecloth underneath here, and we're also going to stamp it. Let me lay the card back here. When I first was designing this card, my thought was to use Flirty Flamingo. Didn't like that. Then I thought I would try Bubble Bath, and I stamped the little flowers in Bubble Bath on it. Those are from the whole Crafting With You set, I believe. So didn't like that one either. Then I tried white with Bubble Bath. Getting better, but didn't really like it. So I ended up making my own little tablecloth by stamping in Flirty Flamingo, Boho Blue, and Lemon Lolly. I don't know if you can see those little dots on there. So that's what I ended up with. And I'll show you how I did that. So first, let's take our card base piece, which is the 4 1/4 by 11 piece, and we're going to score it. Let me scoot this down. And I am terrible with the scoreboard. I've got several of them. I just bought this one from Stampin' Up not very long ago. But I am one of those people that tend to, I get almost to the bottom and then I zig it off. So we'll see if we can do this. If I mess up this piece of paper, I'll try it with another one. If that doesn't work, I've got one scored and ready to go that I'll just use. So we're going to score this at 5/8. Make sure I've got it in here straight. 5/8. And then 2 1/4 inches. And then 3 7/8 inches. And then lastly, 5 1/2 inches. Yay! I'm so excited that I got it done in the first try. I was having nightmares about that. Let me set this scoreboard somewhere else. Out of the way. So next, let's get this folded up and we'll burnish our creases. So these are all going to get folded in towards the card, except for the very last one, the small one. Hopefully you can see this on this background and the camera isn't trying to focus the whole time. So that's what that's going to look like. And that will be our bay window for the base. So next, let's get our trimmer out and finish cutting this piece of designer series paper. Remember, this was a 6x6. I cut it down to 6x4. And now we're going to cut it into 1 3/8 pieces. And I should have had some done up ahead of time just in case. And you do, if you've got a pattern like this, you do want to keep these in the order that you cut them. Well, I guess it isn't really too important. But the patterns will kind of match up. And if you have crafty friends that really check out your work, they might notice something like that. Okay, so there's our cut pieces. We're going to glue those to the front of our base. And let's see. I think we can glue those down now. Let me grab my chair. Hopefully I don't scoot it on the dog's tail. And I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper so I don't get glue all over everything. Hopefully that's in the camera. Let me get up and check it for sure. Okay. So there's our back. Put a little glue there, and you know I always like to try to get it all around the edges. I think I'm already out of order. I'm not sure how I did that, but it doesn't surprise me. Oh well, I'm just gonna go with it. So put these on your little scored panels. Get the little margins as even as you can. It's a really nice day here in Oregon, and I just refilled the bird feeders out back, and the windows and the door is open, so we'll be able to hear them singing. And of course, I can hear the dogs snoring. So then, well, let me put this little piece on. I was gonna say, the next thing you want to do is put your inside piece in before you work on that one. But let's finish off the front here. And this one, you're not really going to see it because it tucks underneath this little edge flap that we're going to put on. So for my inside, oh gosh, that Post-it note that I put on there just tore the paper, and I think I have some more stamped, but I don't know what I did with them. Darn it. I have no idea where those ended up. Nope, not finding them. Okay, I guess we'll just go with this one. Because you know I'm not going to stamp it again. Maybe I'll put some kind of an embellishment on there. I will use my tape runner for this. Normally I can center them pretty good, so I won't need the glue. Famous last words. Make sure that I've got it right side up. Nope. Down a little bit too far. There we go. Phew. Okay. So next we're going to take our 1 5/8 inch by 4 1/4 solid piece of cardstock, and we're going to attach this and put it over here, and that will make our little piece that we're going to tuck this tab behind. Grab my chair again. Sorry for all the ups and downs. I'm trying as best as I can to keep my back from hurting. I never did figure out what the deal was with it. But sometimes it happens when I am crafting, and I usually craft standing up, bent over my kitchen island. I can just see things better that way for some reason. Okay, so now let's grab some dimensionals, and we'll put some down the center of this strip on the back. And if you've watched my videos, you've seen how much adhesive I use, and I'm just about as bad when it comes to dimensionals. I don't want things to come off. Okay, let's take the covers off. That is a lot of dimensionals for that little piece of paper. And then we'll line this up on the right side. And the good thing about dimensionals is you can actually move them when you've stuck them down. So now we've got that piece popped up, and we can tuck this little flap in, and we've got our bay window piece. Isn't that fun? Okay, let's stamp some of our images. Let's do the let me grab, and I've got a ton of stamps out here, so I might have to wade through everything. These are the colors that I'm using, and then I've also got these. So I've got Boho Blue, Lemon Lolly, Old Olive, Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, Smoky Slate, Flirty Flamingo, and Daffodil Delight. I wish I had new pads in all of the colors, but I've really got a ton of the old ones. I do like the new ones better though. So for the little lemons right here, and this stamp set is a two-step stamp set, so you can see there's an outline for the picture, and then this fills in the solid color. Same with the glasses, same with the lemon, same with the leaves. And then this actually, well, it's two-step also, because you do this and then these go together. And we will be doing that piece. So let's take our the detailed lemon pieces, and we're going to use the darker color, which is Daffodil Delight. I'm going to use it full strength. And I normally, well, when I make cards, I usually make more than one, quite a few more than one. So I usually stamp multiples, but I always stamp multiples just in case I foul something up. So let's do 4 and hope I can get it right within that time frame. And then I'm also going to grab my little solid piece that goes inside this lemon. And I'm going to grab my lemon lolly. Make sure I get it facing the right way up, and hopefully I can do this without sticking my head in the way. You'll get the idea. So give that a press. There you go. Give that a press. There you go. And those come out really nice. Great stamp, great definition on them, the cute little images. Stampin' Up did a really good job with those. So let's see, I need to use the Daffodil Delight with, let me go clean this stamp off real quick right here. And then we'll do our little lemon slice. These are adorable stamps. And I think it looks a lot better in the Daffodil Delight than it does in the lemon lolly for some reason. Hopefully it doesn't end up looking like an orange slice. I don't think it does. All right, let me go clean these two stamps off. All right, and I am using my Stampin' Scrub, which I haven't had too long, and I absolutely do adore it. Honestly, I can't believe I went that long without it. I just flipped a little tiny flower stamp off the counter and it hit my hand, my wrist on the way down. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that it was even gone. And then I would have had a terrible time trying to find it. Okay, so let's grab the outline of the picture, and I'm going to stamp that in Smoky Slate. And we'll do a couple of them just in case. And I've got more paper if 2 doesn't work. And while I'm at it, I think I will do the outside of the glasses. And we'll need 2 of those for this project. And so for the inside of this, I am using Bubble Bath. So let's get open. Let me clean my stamps off. Unfortunately, I've got so much stuff out on the counter right now, I can't put my stamp cleaner over there. I've got no room. Okay. So there we've got the inside image of our glass. Give that a press. Fill up our glass with wonderful pink lemonade. I love pink lemonade. And then we'll take the solid image for the inside of the pitcher. Ink it up. I'm going to do this, try to do this without sticking my head in the camera. And I do have, of course, these done ahead of time and already cut out. I just wanted to show you how the process goes. Aren't those nice? Doesn't that look good? And I love the bubble bath and the lemon lolly together. So we've got our pitcher, our glasses, our lemons, our lemon slice. We need our little lemon leaves. So let's do those next. We're going to do the detailed stamp in Old Olive. So let's get a couple of those. And then we're going to still use the Old Olive, but we're going to stamp it off when we use the solid stamp for the inside of the leaves. And I hope you can hear me because I forgot to charge up my little microphone prior to this video. So I might be really sad if I go back to watch this and can hear absolutely nothing. So we're stamping off with the Old Olive and filling in our lemon leaves. Isn't that cute? All right. So next, let's do our little tablecloth piece. And I've got a 5.5 by 4.25 piece of basic white cardstock. And I am just pretty much going to make my own little piece of DSP. So I'm going to start with Flirty Flamingo. And these flowers from the Crafting With You set, I'm pretty sure that's what they're from, I hope. I'm going to stamp these off. I'm going to start in the middle of this paper. And then I'm just going to randomly stamp this image. I don't want them all going the same way. So I'm going to keep turning it as I go. And you'll find that when you've done this, you actually aren't going to see a whole bunch of it on this card. It just barely sticks out at the bottom. But it still makes it nice, so it is worth it, I think. I have to make my own paper because I haven't ordered any of the DSPs that match or that have bubble bath and lemon lolly in them. So I'm going to grab some, hopefully when the sale starts here pretty soon. So next, I'm going to grab my boho blue. And I'm also going to stamp it off. And I have this little tiny flower, and I think it's from Crafting, no, yes, Crafting With You also. Not even sure, I should have looked first. Stamping it off, and then I'm just going to randomly place it. And I think the blue makes this pop on this card, so it's not all, it was all kind of washed out looking until I added the blue. So anyway, I don't need to do the whole thing. I'm sure you're getting the idea. You do also want to, don't forget to stamp things off the edge. You don't want white edges all around your project. So here I just said I don't need to do all this and I can't stop. Okay, stopping. All right, so the next stamp I'm going to use is this little dottage stamp, and it is from the Forever Fern set, and it's just a nice stamp to have on hand to, if you're going to do your own DSP type of things, to fill in the background. This one I'm using full strength, and I'm actually just going to dot it all over the place. And it actually, even in the full strength on here, it's not that obvious. Okay, so that actually goes by pretty quickly. So now if you do this on a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 basic white, and then take your little tablecloth die, you can actually cut 4 tablecloths out of this one little piece of paper. So you do get quite a few. I have already cut one ahead of time, so we're not going to do that. So let's see. Next, let's do our big flower. I'm going to grab my Stamparatus that they don't sell any longer. So when I originally stamped the first one of these flowers, let me grab one and show you what I'm talking about. I got my stem piece, and I always, for photopolymer, I always lay it down and let it fall the way it falls naturally, and then I pick it up. So I would have dropped it face down, picked it up, and then there's 2 more stamps that match this. So I took a good amount of time to match these up to make sure they came out all right. And then when I went to die cut it, this whole thing was crooked. So I had wasted all that time. So here's a little tip. I'm going to try to save you from going through what I did. If you'll die cut that piece out of a piece of basic white, put it on your Stamparatus, and then pretend that I have this stamp in my hand, lay the stamp in this cutout spot. There's a tiny little bit of white around the edge. You know how that cuts with the white around it. But you'll be able to line it up really good, and especially you'll get this bottom of this wiggly stem part straight. So that should help you a lot. And I've already lined up the other two stamps ahead of time, so we don't have to go through all of that process. So let's grab a piece of basic white paper. And I'm going to use my Old Olive for the stem. And I did have to stamp it twice for my liking. I'm going to wipe that off before I stamp it. I'm going to give that a good press. Pretty good, but it could be a little bit darker. That looks pretty good. So now, let me wipe this stamp off. So the second piece, I've already got mounted on the back of this, so I'm just going to flip it over, lock it into place, and this is the detailed outline stamp of the flower. I'm going to use, let me close up my Old Olive. I'm going to use Berry Burst, and I did use multiple colors because you know how I like to do that. I have to see what everything looks like. And I will show you some of those samples. I'm going to end up with red fingers. Okay, so there's the detailed part of the flower. That is such a deep, vibrant color, you're not going to need to stamp it twice. That's probably a terrible noise on camera. Let me close my Berry Burst ink. Oh, I do have pink on my thumb. There. And then on this top plate, I've got the last piece of the flower. And for that, I'm going to use, let's see, what do I want to use? Lemon Lolly. Let's do Lemon Lolly. So we'll ink that up. Give that a good press. And that actually came out good for a yellow color. You can actually see it, and I'm not going to have to do it twice. So I'm happy with that. Let's put all this away. And while we're on the subject of this flower, let me set this aside. Try not to step on the dog. There is also a, this is the die for the picture that I stamped just a few minutes ago. There is also this die, which looks like a picture, but I think it's supposed to be more of a vase, and it actually cuts a little slit here. Hopefully I'm not getting a terrible reflection. It cuts a slit there so you can tuck flowers in. So let me show you a few that I've jimmy rigged together. These are not, nothing is glued. So there's just a basic white, and I believe this is Flirty Flamingo and Lemon Lolly like I just did, and this is Blueberry Bushel and Lemon Lolly. And then I've colored the petals with Wink of Stella. This one is, I knew I was going to forget the name of the color. Give me a second. Pebble Path. I think it's kind of a nice look if you're wanting like a clay looking picture. And this flower was stamped in Blueberry Bushel on the outside, the detailed part, and the inside was boho blue, and I probably should have stamped it off to get a little more differentiation between the colors. This one outside is Berry Burst, inside is Flirty Flamingo. This one is with my favorite gold embossed designer series paper. The outside is, I'm not sure. I'm going to say Berry Burst, but I'm not sure. Inside is Bubble Bath. And then Berry Burst, Flirty Flamingo. And then this one, I cut the picture from the, can't remember the name, let me go look. It is from the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper pack. There's some really great papers in there. So that's kind of a fun idea to cut it out with DSP too. I haven't made any cards with this yet, but I will. So this is the one we just did with Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, and then this, I believe, is Berry Burst and Bubble Bath. So that's kind of a fun thing to do with those flowers. You can, and don't be afraid to try like the blues. You never know what you're gonna come up with or like or don't like. You could also heat emboss the detail, the first flower stamp, the outside part, heat emboss it in silver or gold, and then you could probably still stamp the inside with it. You might try it and see, or you could color it with Stampin' Blends or watercolors or pencils or whatever. So that's that. Let me get some of these stamps out of the way. And I've got one with blue all over it, so let me clean that one off before I end up with it everywhere. Oop. That little stamp just bounced across the floor again. I got it. So, are we done with stamping? I think so. I guess we can put the rest of our card together. So here's, let me grab another piece of paper. Here's the pieces that got stamped. There's the tablecloth, the flower, the lemons, the pitcher, the glasses, the lemon slice, and the leaves. Hopefully that's everything we need. So let's take our 2 5/8 inch square, and I'm actually just going to glue it down to my card base. You could pop it up on dimensionals if you wanted. I have popped up the pitcher and the glasses, so it might get pretty thick. You'd have to probably do extra postage, or it could just be a hand-delivered card that you're just going to hand to somebody. So let's put a little bit of glue just down the center of the back of this square. And we'll just center it right on this middle panel. And actually, with this DSP with this pattern on it, whoops, you should be able to line up one of these edges with a line that goes by. So that's one way of knowing whether you've got it right or not, because I usually don't get things correct. So for the pitcher, I'm going to put a couple dimensionals on the back, and I'm not going to put one over here by the handle or this very top because it's sticking out. Okay, let's take our covers off. My neighbor's out there doing something in his yard, clanking around. So this, I'm going to line up this edge of the pitcher with the center of this square. And I better not do that because I actually need to put my tablecloth down first. You were all going, "Don't do it, don't do it." Maybe I heard you. So let's put our tablecloth down. I did put the first one pretty close to the bottom of my square. And you want to line that up even between these two edges. And I kind of tried to get these two little end tassels even. I don't know if that makes a difference or if that makes it square or whatever. Okay, now we can put our pitcher on. Guess I should be looking to see if things are straight. Okay, next I'm going to put my pink lemonade glasses on. And you could probably get away with small dimensionals for these, but this is what I've got handy, so that's what I'm going with. So for the one on the left, you're going to want to, if you want to tuck your little lemon slice into the glass, we're going to cut the lemon slice. We're also going to cut a little bit of the line on the top of the glass. I actually did the first one with a big foam pad and an X-Acto knife. And then later in the day I thought, what in the world did I do that for? That was a lot of trouble for that when I just could have cut the top of the glass. So let's see if there's some reason that I actually should have done it the way I did it the first time, because maybe this won't work. All right. I am going to put a little dab of glue on the back of this glass. I guess I should have not put my dimensional so high. So we'll get a little glue going here just to catch the edge of that lemon slice. And then barely give that a little bit of a bend. Push that back a little bit and then tuck our lemon in. Isn't that cute? And I think I did mention it, but I did, after I stamped the pitcher, lemonade, the glasses, well, all of these, I colored these with Wink of Stella. The pitcher, the glasses, the lemons, the sliced lemon. I did not do the lemon leaves with Wink of Stella. I did do the big flower. Okay, so we've got our covers off of those. So let's put our first glass on our card. Let me make sure it's straight. And then the second one, you could sure do the same thing if you want to put a lemon in it. And I'm just going to overlap this a little bit on the first glass and scoot it down just a little tad bit. Give a little more dimension to the look of this. So that's what we've got so far. So now let's glue our leaves to our lemons. You want to make sure you've got your lemons going the right way. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom lemon-ish and stick this leaf on. And of course, I have to get glue all over me and everything else. Then I'm going to put a little dot of glue right between both of these lemons. And then I'm going to add this other set of leaves. Turn that a little bit. I don't want them going the same way exactly. And then I'm going to put glue on the back of this lemon and attach it to the pitcher. And I will grab a small dimensional. There's a dog in the way. Get a baby dimensional and put it on this other lemon. So it'll kind of keep it level. got glue there I don't want to get stuck on. So we'll put our lemon here. That's going to glue to the picture. There's a little dimensional under there. And then what we've got left is our flower. So let's give that a trial run of where we might want it. So you're not going to want to put glue over on the very end of that, and you don't really need glue on the bottom part. So let's just put some glue across the center-ish. And maybe another baby dimensional under. Let's see, I think I'll put it right there. You could probably put one on both of these places. Let me get the covers off of those. Yes, I am sticking my fingers in the glue. All right. So let's line this up where we want it. Okay, so there's all of our pieces. Put my lid on my glue. The last thing I did was add some rhinestones. Let me see what I did with them. Here they are. I used the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. There's really not a lot of room for a sentiment since this is going to, you know, have this little fun fold effect. I suppose you could find a hi or hello or something, little something that you could stick here maybe, but I just decided to leave it without a sentiment because it does have this really nice time spent together is the sweetest sentiment on the inside. So I'm going to take grab my other tweezers, medium-sized Rhinestone Basic Jewel, and I'll set it up here. And I'm going to grab a small one and put it down here, and another small one, and we'll put it up here. Okay, so that is the card. What do you think of that? So the card, the fun fold part of it, really is easy, and it doesn't take very long. It's just the tiny little, all the little pieces that we had to stamp, and of course you'll be die cutting, and then placing them all on here. So that's a little bit of time consuming. Other than that, the card-based part goes by pretty quickly, and it is easy. So anyway, let me know what you think of this. I appreciate you watching, and I love to hear your feedback. So if you're getting anything out of my videos, please hit the like button, share the video with your friends, your family. My brothers say they watch my videos. And I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I really appreciate all of you that recently subscribed I'm not saying I don't appreciate the rest of you. I appreciate all of you for subscribing. And I hope that you enjoyed this project today, and I hope you'll give it a try and grab this set if you don't already have it. Enjoy your day, and I will see you next time. Thanks.